Hi guys, welcome to Only in Brazil channel. I'm Marcelo and today we have a different video. I just stopped talking about Brazil and where to go and things to go, and we will tell you a little bit what happened this Sunday, where a lot of people was protesting against the government, against our elected president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, or simply known by the name Lula, and they go they went to Brasilia. They were there for a lot of days after the results of the election. There was plenty of people in front of the general quarters of the army in Brasilia, in the capital, and they organized like a big protest against the government on Sunday, on January 8th. And unfortunately, it wasn't pacific protest. That was invasion of the Congress, of the Supreme Court, and also on the presidential palace. And I would like to explain a little bit about what is happening in Brazil for you to know. Brazil is not on a civil war, is not going to a collapse right now, but the political situation is not good, and I would like to explain some facts. I won't take any political issue. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm just telling you some facts, and you can explore more here on YouTube, more on the internet, read a little bit more about what is happening in Brazil and also in the world, and take your own conclusions. I don't want to convince anything from uh, what is right, what is wrong, or to discuss politics here. It's not my goal. It's just for you to understand what is happening in Brazil, what is about to happen, and say to you that from until now it's totally safe to travel to Brazil, and there is any kind of signs of war or a civil war or something like that, but it's a really difficult situation for us Brazilians. Right now, I'm living in Italy, and we we decided to leave Brazil because, like, we stayed a little bit in Switzerland last year. I was doing like a research fellowship in a foundation, and then we lived also in Missouri State in the U.S., where I made another fellowship there, and we had some ancestors that they came from Italy, and then we had the right for apply to Italian citizenship, and on Monday we will sign our papers and we will become Italian, and then we will decide to if we are coming back to Brazil, to our country. That is what we want. We really want to live there. We like there, but there are some problems like to with security, with some social problems. There is a lot of difference between rich and poor. It's not easy, it's not safe, you don't have security, you can be assaulted, you can be murdered, and of course it's not in every city, but you have to take some care with some issues that we explain to you guys in these videos. But I would like to explain what is happening in Brazil. And the thing is that we are totally polarized in Brazil, with left and right, with the conservative parties and with the left party, the communist parties. And there's a lot of explanation for all of this, but the fact is, we are, since our former president Dilma Rousseff was impeached. She suffered a impeach. She was impeached, and it wasn't some. It was everything with the legal process. She made a lot of mistakes. She was doing really bad government, and then the congressman made an impeachment based on some laws that she was doing wrong, and she was deposed. The vice president assumed, and then he tried to to fix something in Brazil. And then we had the elections on 2017, and the President Bolsonaro won. And why President Bolsonaro won? Because Brazilians we were tired of a lot of corruption scandals and schemes that it has been since the Works Party assumed. And there's a lot of history on this. So if you take from 2003, when Lula started the government, until 2011 when he finished, uh, there was a lot of investigations in the Dilma Rousseff government against Lula, and they found out a lot of things of corruption schemes that were leading to Lula and a lot of big enterprises. Um, you can see the Lava Jato operation that the Federal Police of Brazil discovered a gas station in Brazil, situated in Brasilia, that is the capital, and they were laundering money for a lot of big politicians. And they started investigating everything, and they discovered a huge scheme of money laundering and a huge scheme of uh, they were stolen. They were stealing the money of Petrobras. There's the oil company, of Correios, of a lot of enterprises in Brazil. And well, these investigations lead to a lot of big politicians in Brazil, including President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, Lula, that ju- uh, was prosecuted, judged, and was found guilty. And after this, he was again judged by another judges in Brazil, so the second time, and he was found guilty. And it was more than one process. So he had one process for passive corruption. He received an apartment in the city of Guarujá. He received like a little farm in the city of Atibaia, and there are also other schemes, and a lot of people were arrested, including Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. He was arrested. He stayed in jail for 500 days and something else, 1 year and a half. And it was in the time that Dilma Rousseff was impeached, and then uh, we had the elections, and he couldn't run for the elections of 2017. So Bolsonaro won, and Bolsonaro govern he governed Brazil for 4 years. And during these 4 years, a lot of things happened in Brazil, and we had the activism of the Supreme Court against Bolsonaro. And the Supreme Court, for you to understand, in Brazil, it's composed by judges that are indicated by the president. So the president indicates during the time, the president who is government in the government will indicate someone to the Supreme Court. And what happened? What happened is that the Works Party um, were in the government for 14 years, and during these 14 years, they indicated a lot of people there. And the Supreme Court would be like really judges of career with we call notorium sapere, or with a real highly knowledge of the law of the constitution, and to interpret the constitution and to judge without any any bias. Okay. And the problem is that these guys that were indicated by the Works Party were the Works Party attorney, were the like Works Party or the traffic dealers attorney or something like that. They weren't judged by career, but they did different things. And I know the Congress was amiss, the Congress permit, the senators permit that these guys were there, and but by far they were doing ah, let's say a great job or a good job. And what happened during Bolsonaro? What Bolsonaro wanted to make, the Supreme Court said during his government it was illegal, and they were fighting against each other. And with they started seeing that anyone could win Bolsonaro again on the elections, and then they um, started doing some maneuvers to set Lula free again and to invalidate all the judgments that he had that was guilty. And they made it this, and they said that the judge that judged Lula was couldn't judge Lula because like he was invited by the President Bolsonaro to be the Ministry of Justice, and he was biased and he couldn't judge. So they invalidated the judgment of Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva and set him free, and he could run for this election again. What is I I I, I just want you to tell me, what do you think of all of this shit? Like, what do you think? I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying the facts. What do you think about this? I know. Sorry about my English. I'm trying to explain you a little bit more of what is happening. And then Lula could run again, even if he was judged guilty 2 times. Okay, it's okay, and he ran again. And then during the election time, President Bolsonaro made a lot of speeches in the United Nations. He went to London, he went to New York, he went, and every place that Bolsonaro went, he was like really well welcomed by Brazilian people and with a lot of crowded. He made like some motocicletas that we say that it's like a motorbike uh, passage, and with more than 1 million people going with him. And wherever Lula went, he was shouted, he was like not well welcomed. People start screaming that he was a thief, he should be in jail and not in the in the streets, and things like that. And then the election came. Lula go to the second turn with Bolsonaro. Lula won the first turn with almost 50% of the votes. What I think it's incredible how someone that cannot go on the streets can win, can have the majority of the votes. But it's okay. It's it's the people's choice. It's okay. I can understand that. I really can understand that. But there are something wrong with this. And then we have the electronic votes. There are some something going wrong with this. and I don't know why, but the Supreme Court doesn't want to give the source code. There are some evidence that some old electronic votes were like, there is something that we don't know, we still don't know, and we won't know about this for sure. And the fact is that people are not happy with the Lula re-election. He won on the second turn with Bolsonaro against Bolsonaro with a little bit difference, and we don't know if this is the truth. This is the truth. Majority of people, and since this day, people were in front of every military quarter in Brazil protesting against Lula's elections. Bolsonaro stayed quiet for more than 40 days. He didn't accept the result, and he just left Brazil on 28th of December, and now he's in Orlando, in Florida, and people are trying to arrest him. So the Socialist Party entered with a representation in the Supreme Court asking the arresting for Bolsonaro. So this is what happened, and during the Sunday they organized a protest, and it scaled and became a violent protest. I'm not in favor of any violence. I think we should be able to protest, but there is another fact that during the elections, people who were saying that Lula was a criminal, he stole, he was arrested, and he was an ex-corruption and ex in jail, I don't know how to say this in English, were being censored. So probably after this video, my channel could be censored, as a lot of us are being censored in YouTube and in the other platforms. So this is a sad reality in Brazil that is happening, and I think you should know it's still safe to go here, to come here, but we don't know what will happen. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm not really glad to do this video, but I think you should know about this. There's a lot of things to discuss. This is just a short video trying to explain to you, and I think that you like it. Please share this video with people you know. Maybe I can explain more. If you want more videos about this content, let me know in the comments. I enjoy you a really nice day and a safe trip to Brazil. Bye.